Thank you, WG. That was beautiful. Yeah, let's show them some appreciation this morning. Thank you. I love that song, that old hymn, Sweet Hour of Prayer. And you know, right now we're coming into a beautiful time of a wonderful service with prayer and adoration, and just so grateful to be here today at Unity Church. It is so good to see each and every one of you, and I hope everybody is well and has had a good summer. If you're visiting with us today for the very first time, we're so glad that you're here. God bless you guys. Welcome to Unity Church. And for those of you who are visiting on Zoom today, so glad you're here as well. Thank you for tuning in. And Pastor Elizabeth has an exciting message that's already lined up for us, and we're going to have a great time together. So we got a few announcements. You know, we've got a Wednesday meditation that starts at 7 o'clock, and it is a wonderful thing. I've got some friends of mine who sent me a text this week, and they're like, Troy, the meditations on Wednesday have been absolutely incredible. And I was like, oof, that's good to hear. So Wednesday at 7, if you'll join us this week, that'd be great. And in a few weeks, we're going to start back up with our Wednesday yoga class that we have at 5:30 here. So Linda will tell us more about it later. Okay, that sounds very good. Well, she's just, you know what? We'll just let Linda tell you about it right now.
Hello, yoga people. We will start back on September 12th. We're changing to Tuesday night so the church can be open on 2 nights. So maybe we can get other things going on. But you are welcome to come Tuesday, September 12th at 5:30. Bring your mat or whatever, your props or whatever. It's just a gentle yoga, stretches, breathing, and a little teaching sutra, which I love to do. So we'll see you Tuesday, September 12th. Thank you.
Hey, you look great. Yeah, you too, dear. So Tuesday the 12th, the yoga is going to start up. The meditation this coming Wednesday at 7 will be great. One of the many things I really enjoy about Unity Church is that we are a praying church. And if you have prayer needs today, I would encourage you, you can do one of two things. One, out in the lobby area there, you can write down your prayer request, put it in that prayer box, and Pastor Elizabeth will pray over those for 7 days. Then we will send those on to Missouri for Unity Worldwide to be able to be prayed over for the next 30 days. So that's a wonderful thing. But if you also need immediate prayer, please, you can meet somebody here after the service. We'd be happy to pray with you and just connect in and know exactly what needs to be done. We're excited today also at, let me make sure I get the time correctly. 2 o'clock today, our dear friend Susan. Hey, Susan, raise your hand over there. Thank you. Dear Susan's going to be having a drum circle today from 2 to 3:30 right here in the auditorium. She'll have a few drums, but if you've got a drum, please feel free to bring that so you can pitch in and just have a great time drumming together. There's something really special about getting those rhythms going, and it's really great. So, Susan, thank you for doing that. Very good. Let's see. Are there any other announcements that I need to be aware of today that maybe we don't know? We're good? All right, well, let's all stand to our feet. We're going to greet each other the Unity way. You can stand at any time. There you go. It goes something like this. The Christ in me greets the Christ in you, and we work together for the glory of God. Go shake somebody's hand today. Hug somebody's neck.
Boy, aren't you all just so beautiful? Y'all keep talking. Don't you going around and hugging everybody? How wonderful it is. Introduce yourselves. Introduce yourselves. Let everybody know who you are. Go around and give those smiling hugs. Give some more of those smiling hugs. How could anyone ever tell you that you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you're less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your love is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. And that's how we do it here. And we've done it here a long time. And you can still continue to hug each other through this song. What a beautiful song it is. And it's going to prepare us for our message today. Y'all see up here on the screen, the words are here. We've sang this song for a long time here at Unity. It was brought in by many people years ago. You can still feel their love all throughout this building. You can take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and relax. We're going to sing this song. You can hug each other if you want to. Let's keep that spirit going. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Look at yourselves.
He was 100 or 101 when he made his transition. And he was in here probably so often, sitting back there. And, well, of course, the chairs were packed in and came way up here back then. But he would encourage me on. And I can feel his presence today. And I have here lately. He's just been around. But he heard that song somewhere. And he wanted to know who wrote that song and who sang it. So he looked her up, and she happened to be in the town where he was at. He traveled around a lot. So he called her and asked could he come visit her. And so she said, yeah. She gave him a time to come over. And he went with a friend. And when she opened the door, they started singing it to her. How could anyone ever tell you you're less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you're less than whole? And she started crying. She said, I've sang that for so many others, but no one's ever sang it to me. So when he was here, a lot of times we would sing it to each other and look in each other's eyes to remember who you truly are. And for all this time, we've been forgetting. And I think that's why we're here, right here and now. The universe itself is waking us up. It's waking us up. So let's just pause to remember. Just go into that inner space. Take a deep breath. Breathe in that life of God. Breathe out any stress or anxiety. Breathe in that life force right here and now. Like an ocean wave, just release it. One more time, in and out. Dear loving Creator of all things, I give thanks for this moment right here and right now. A time that we can remember just who we are. One body, one soul, one mind, one creation connected to all of life. Give us that knowingness from deep within, that wisdom and knowledge that has been hidden from us so often since the foundations of the world. So much information has been kept, but you've placed it right in our own hearts, right within humankind. For we are that temple of the living God. That DNA from the very beginning is within every cell, every fiber of our being. And it's now coming to that place of lighting up, becoming into that manifestation in the fullness of that divine being of who we are. As we choose to step into that place and acknowledge and remember just who we are, that all things will begin to pass away, but behold, there's something wonderful and new dawning in our lives this day. So may we just relax and remember. Just relax and remember. And as you do, I'd like to read a daily word for you. And maybe you'll discover that these words are words coming from your own heart or your own mind. Today is a new day, filled with new opportunities. As the dawn of a new day approaches, the darkness of the night is slowly replaced with a glow of light that grows stronger and brighter. A new day is dawning from within me. And with that day coming, the hope and the promise of fresh beginnings and fresh opportunities. As I embrace this new moment, this new day, I recall some of the words that Jesus said. I recall he said, I am the light of the world, and whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Remembering these words, I follow that path of the Christ example, and I live in the light of God's wisdom and knowledge. I let these teachings live out through me. May they live out through me each and every day. This is a new day and a new beginning for us. The day of spirit, the spirit of the divine, which is rising within us to be a part of all that we say and all that we do and all that we see and connect with. I have much to give. I have much to receive in these moments, in this day, and this time. If anyone is in that higher consciousness of the divine Christ consciousness or universal consciousness, oneness, whatever mankind might call it, words barely touch it and cannot describe it. Yet our heart knows, for we become that new creature, and all things begin to pass away, and behold, all things become new. Teach us from the inside out, dear God. There are so many opportunities for us to grow in that light of understanding from that information that's within each and every one of us. For ages, we have been programmed and we've been following others' teachings and others' philosophies. But now may we know the truth that will set us free. That truth that has been hidden for ages and ages is now becoming revealed. We're seeing the darkness in this world, but behold, there's light from within. And as we go within that inner space of peace and love, those dark days begin to fade away, and truth and knowledge will come to us as we follow that divine direction within. So lead us, Lord, this day. Lead us into truth, each and every one of us, that we may stand in this day and this time as beacons of light in this world, that when we come to that knowledge that we are the light in the world, because the teachers, the ancient wisdoms have spoken and we've pushed it aside. As Jesus said, you are the light. You are the light in this world. He also let us know that he accomplished in the flesh and in the spirit in this time, merging the two together, that all that he did, that we can do also. And he called us for a greater work. We're standing in the opportunity of this new age, this age of Aquarius, where everything is shifting and the light is pouring in like never before or since 25,000 years ago or beyond. The light is coming back into the world, bringing up all the darkness that we can choose this day. We can make those choices. Do I stay in those lower vibrations? Do I hide in darkness, or do I embrace it? Teach us, Lord. teach us and lead us and guide us. May those words that I speak today, may I be open and receptive to you, dear God, and may our hearts be blessed. And so it is. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. All week long, we'll meditate and we'll get in that space, and you feel that power and that connection with everybody, and you step out in the world again. And what happens? It's like a cloud of darkness can just engulf you before you know it, and you're spiraling down. And so many people have called, and so many things have been going on in life this week that my heart aches for it. My heart aches. But I'm realizing that we as individuals are already connected to everyone. So we feel their pain, we feel their hurt, and we want to rescue them. I know I want to rescue them. What can I do to help? What can I do? But I'm recognizing that it's like something's come to mind. I can't think of where it came from, but embrace the tiger. When you meet the tiger on the road, you embrace him, or you go up to him, you begin to know him, or you're going to, he's going to eat you. Okay. Maybe that's what they're showing me. We see something coming at us, some wild beast or something. We want to run away from it. Thank you. I'm understanding what I'm getting right now. We want to run away from our troubles. Don't you want to hide under the covers? I can't handle this. I don't know what to do with this. Life is caving down in on me. All these circumstances, all this news, all this negativity. I just don't want to, if you ever thought I don't even want to be on this planet, the way it is, it just doesn't vibrate right anymore. But what is happening, science is even coming in explaining it to us now, of how the sun is giving solar flares like it hasn't in ages. And it's not that our earth, that we've damaged it, pardon me, this is coming out of some space and time, and I'm just saying it. It's not that humanity has damaged this earth. This earth is going to be okay. I guarantee you, the earth is going to be okay, and they're giving it to me a third time. The earth and the heavens are going to be okay. It's up to us if we are. We have the power to bless or to curse, to lift up or to destroy. And we've come to this place that we're showing people as human beings, what power man has. But the thing is right now we have to look at our own self. And information is coming out, I think, from in your hearts and minds for each and every one of us. That if you stay in that negative place of hate, anger, division, life is not fair, that's that tiger coming to you. And you feel it's going to destroy you. I look back right now, getting flashes of different Old Testament stories of little David facing Goliath, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego going through the fire, Daniel being placed in the lion's den. All these things. How did they go through that? That's what I'm asking. How did they go through that and be in that situation? Because I'm thinking about David. He faced Goliath when nobody else would do it. He's a little boy. And they tried to put the armor on this. If you know the story of Goliath, he was a big giant, and he was coming against the people of Israel, and he was going to destroy them all because he knew he could. And the other soldiers, they wouldn't dare go close to him. He was too big and too strong. He could wipe them all out, they felt like. But here comes this little boy, I'll do it. So they put him on armor, and gave him sword and everything else. It was like, I can't do this. Now, if we're facing something big like that, or if we're going to be thrown in a fiery furnace, or if we're going to be thrown in a lion's den, how would you feel? And I wonder, how did they make it through? I know it's divine intervention, we'll say. He did not fear. Can you get that? He didn't fear. Why didn't he fear? He had already gone through circumstances that he knew there was a power in him greater than anything on that outside. The Lord is my shepherd, he said, as he wrote as a youth. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Okay, I hear it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for what thou art with me. Wow. He was a little shepherd boy. He was out there with the sheep. The sheep for us may represent our thought forms, keeping them safe. And that's coming in could be the lion, the tiger, the bear, the wolf, those things of destruction, those lower energies that will attack us and bring us down in consciousness. But he literally, I believe, faced the wild animals out there and ran them off and kept his sheep safe. So he knew there's a power with him. He already experienced it. I guarantee you, you have gone through things in life. I don't care how young you are. You've already gone through things in life that have proved you can overcome difficult situations. And once you know you can, and once you recognize there's a power in you that can lift you up above these circumstances, you can go through financial difficulty. You can go through pain and suffering. You can go through loss. You can go through all these things and still you're here. And things turned out better than you thought they were going to turn out. But then here comes all this stuff that's coming in on us right now. So here's this little boy facing this huge giant. And I used to see it, maybe it could be cancer, it could be anything. But you know, he looked at that giant and everybody else is scared. And what did he do? He had a little slingshot, you know. Now, what in the world can that do? He looked at that big giant who had all this armor on top of everything else. And he had this great shield over his head and everything. But he had one little opening right at his forehead. Right there. He let it go and wham. Where did it hit him? Right in the mind, the brain. And it took him down. Whew. To me, that's saying, when those things are going on in me that are fearful, it's in the giant of my own mind. It's in that lower self or that ego self that's trying to make sure it shows its power out here in the world, trying to protect us in its own way. But when that true experience or that light or that power within us comes, it brings it down. I'm seeing, I don't know where that's back. Yeah. I'm being taken over to the Old Testament, where there was a dream of a stone rolling down the hill, and it hits this huge form. And when it hits it, it falls. It falls. It's all those idols, all those forms that we have created in our own mind and in our own world. The stone, that solid piece, that rock, that place that we can really rely on is hitting things and they're falling apart. So what's going to happen? We're going to have to be strong within our own self and have that peace no matter what's coming in this world right now. Things are going to hit really big the next few weeks, and it's going to keep going on. It's going to keep going on. You'll see it mount up, destructions, fire, water. Here I'm going into, I guess, Revelation. But all the stories, ancient stories, tell about this. But what I'm flashing back to now is the heavens tell about it. That every so many thousands of years, this earth changes. And humankind will change with it, or it will not. So we come together in heart and mind and recognize we're everything, or we'll be a part of that which perishes. But which does it matter? With life eternal. Life eternal. But it's been written in ancient scriptures, not just the Bible, but in things that are now even being discovered, and science is discovering it, that the body is actually transforming. The heart and mind is being transformed. In the Old Testament talks about that the people will have a new heart. They'll have that new heart, that new mind, that new source within them. And he'll take that corrupt heart, or that one of hate and anger and bitterness and doubt, that will begin to pass away. And there'll be that part of love and peace and understanding. We're beginning to wake up intuitively. And I'm sure all of you have begun to experience that. That you feel what another person feels. You know where they're coming from. And when you know where they're coming from, you can't judge them. Scriptures judge not, that you be not judged. It's about when we're judging others, that judgment comes back on us. When we're doing harm to someone else, it's coming back to us. So we're waking up to find out our actions have repercussions. But it's not about letting somebody walk all over you. Feeling somebody feel that. It's just being in that place of peace. Being in the place of peace. Because all things are going to pass. Think of those horrible places you've been in. They're gone unless you've held on to it. I can see that's what we're working on right now. The letting go and letting the divine in you handle things is one of the hardest things humanity faces. Somebody did something to me 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. Well, they did something to my great-great-granddaddy. And we still have those things going on, resentments, different things. It's time for us to learn to be in the here and the now. And the moment in this place. And remembering who you are. Yes, you are human with a human mind that wants to hang on to everything. But we're standing in the place right now. If we keep holding on, we're going to sink. You can't keep holding on to your old baggage and get to the mountaintop. We face our darkness, whatever's coming to us, and we walk towards it without fear. Just like little David wrestling with a lion. Others wrestling with the lions. Facing a giant. And that power within you, when you're ready to face it, especially without fear, I guarantee you, you will overcome it. I'm hearing that again. It's not my personality telling you this. It's something deeper says. I guarantee. I guarantee. When you're coming from that vibration of love and guidance from within, the answers come. Because we're getting where we're plugging into that energy. I've had several people, when I was little, this man was telling me he heard things in his living room and different things. He would see things. And he said, sometimes he said, I realize they're not there, but he said, when I get real still, it's like tuning in on a radio station. Young people don't know this, but you used to have to get this little dial just right on a certain number, or turn your TV antennas just right to get that picture just right. And y'all know what I'm talking about. A few of us do. But you don't get good reception unless you just get it perfectly in alignment. And that's what's happening to us today, I believe. When we can't get ourselves in that place of peace, they're static. They're static. But more and more people around the world, I do believe right now, are beginning to go to that place of stillness. They're meditating with each other. They're doing different techniques of finding that still small place within. And we share things of this nature together till we learn how to do it on our own. But the beauty of it now is we're coming in groups of consciousness. And when we begin to work together in harmony, for some reason, the word magic for the human mind, it seems like magic begins to take place. And we've seen it right here, just in the past couple of weeks, how transformation is taking place on our grounds and different people's lives, of how things are changing. Things that we may have thought months ago wouldn't happen are beginning to happen. But the old has to be moved out of the way before the new can come into our life. How many of you have maybe lost a job or a relationship and you thought, I'm going to die without that? I can't live with that person, without that person. I've heard that so many times. I want to say, you're going to keep on living with or without them, but I didn't. But that's the way people feel, so heartbroken over losses. But 9 out of 10, when they feel like they're shoved out of something, eventually life changes. And they find a beautiful place for them. It's like I had a vision of a person. He kept leaving a relationship, but it's right before he got to a hilltop, he would turn around and come back, because the person that slammed the door on him would open the door and start coming out, darling, please come back. And he would turn around. Finally, he did it. And he said, I don't know where this is leading, but I can't go back anymore. He said, do you know what's on this other side of the mountain? He said, all you have to do is get to the mountaintop and you're going to see a whole new world out there. A beautiful world. Of course, he met someone and his whole life changed. And that's probably our story too. I know that was mine. I'm looking at it right now. I didn't even put mine in that person's shoe. But it's that of having that fear that you're going somewhere, you don't know where you're going, and feel like it's safer back where you are with that old job, that old relationship, that old car, that old whatever. But when you're brave enough to step beyond it and knowing it's going to be okay, life begins to change. Some of you experienced that. Anybody wants to give somebody an encouraging word about what happened in your life? I don't know why I'm looking at you. But you could have been a teacher here in America for a long, long time, couldn't you? You could have been married and had children, couldn't you? Your life took you a different path? Do you regret it? Wait, I don't know why, but these are things that if you look at it, really look at your life, there was something always in you trying to pull you forward, because the divine wants good for you. The creator in you, that essence always wants better for you. So you left something behind that seemed okay for what? Stood up. We're winging it right now. We need each other.
Is it working? Yeah. I, since fifth grade, knew I wanted to be a teacher more than anything else, and I know that my gift of the Spirit is teaching. I dated this really nice guy all through high school. I really loved him, but my first year of college, he wanted to give me a pre-engagement ring. And I thought, whoa, we're getting pretty serious here. I knew in my heart of hearts that was not my path, and I had to turn him down. But my path was to go to Kenya to teach missionary children, which I did for 9 years, and also to be a teacher here in America. And that was something I shut the door on, but I knew God's path, even though it was hard. So that's just one episode. But I was thinking also, I gave up my apartment to buy a house, and I thought, I don't know how I'm going to afford this, but it was the right step for me. But I reluctantly gave up a little apartment that I had rented, and I said, I'm trusting you, God. My mom always told my brother and me, trust God, and that's the best advice ever.
Yes. Put God first. First things first is our spiritual growth. And I realize I don't even have a clock here, so if somebody put up your hand when it's getting close. Is there somebody else has something they could share to be encouraging to someone else? Someone else be brave enough? You can get this way. He's trying to follow you. Life is about sharing stories, really, because we want to see how somebody got out of something. But every single one of you have a story to tell that would bless somebody else. You know that? Somebody can be in a place and you just start talking. When you're, especially if you're divinely guided to do that, that it can help lift somebody else up where they can begin to see the light for their own self. Did you turn it off at the bottom? You can use them. Woo.
That's it. We was talking about fear. I lived in fear all my life, scared of everything. And so I always pretended to be what I wasn't. I pretended to be what everybody wanted me to be, so that I could be a part of maybe or something like that. But I was always scared I was going to be rejected. When I came to this church, things happened before that, of course, through your life, things happen. And through this church, it opened up so many more doors. Through the years, and it didn't happen in a flash, and it ain't happened in a flash. But this fear, this always keeps me from doing things. There have been people here that have shown me how to walk through it. It ain't been easy. They've shown me hard ways. That's how I learn things. I learn things the hard way. But it's getting better because I'm not so scared anymore. When that fear gets in me, my gosh, you've been through everything your whole dang life. What is wrong? And some people will say something and it finally rings in my head and I take that step. This place has opened up so many doors and so many different things, so many different wonderful things that we do here. That's why I love this place. That's why I come here and be joyful. I'm finally learning to be joyful for real, for real. Thank you.
It is that joy inside, that joy of the Lord, is that song I'm hearing in the background, is my strength. If you can move from those lower places and begin to sing a song, just begin to sing a song that will uplift you. So often I'll be doing something and all of a sudden it's like somebody turns on a jukebox in my head. Like, how can anyone ever tell you you're anything less than beautiful when you're down and out and think, oh my gosh, I can't go to work like this. I look horrible. My hair's not going right. Da, 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 da. Just pick yourself up. Just let that little song from inside begin to touch you and to feel that oneness with all life and all things. We have it all inside of us, folks. And the more we get together, it's what I'm hearing right now. The more, you remember that little song, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your what is my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. And that's true. Years ago, I'd come to Winston Salem and I'd have so many people call in wanting to go out to lunch with me. And I would look around the table and I think, how's all this happening? And so I was working with a lady that was a psychologist and I worked in medical field anyway back then. But she said, Elizabeth, she says, won't you tell me what your hobby is? I said, it used to be horses. I said, but getting older, I don't do that anymore. I said, really, I don't have hobbies. She said, oh, yes, you do. And I said, well, what is it? She said, you love to collect friends and then share them with everybody else. And that was true. Our circle got really, really large. And so I'd like to see that again, that we have things that we can share with each other, because it's not just me. You bring your friends and you bring your friends and we come together and we find out what friends want to do and what friends want to talk about. And this will start happening. These things will start happening. We start growing. And our light starts shining brighter too. Because I think it comes out of the joy of the Lord, just like what we're just talking. When you're happy inside, look at smiling faces. It begins to show. And we're not drawing people to us when we're down and out. It's when we are showing that joy, but that is genuine. Genuine. We can pretend, but the pretense soon fades away. And people know if we're pretending, because we can read each other very easily anymore. So find that power that's within you and find that path that is joy for you. We've been indoctrinated that only certain ways you can get in touch with the divine. But I tell you, yesterday or day before, I think it was, I walked outside and it had been raining some, but it was like about 12 o'clock and usually the rain is gone. The moisture is gone. I stepped outside and I looked at the grass and I thought, what is it? It looked like somebody just took diamonds and threw all over the place. And I looked over the other side and, oh my gosh, where the sun was shining, little tiny diamonds everywhere. And I realized that is little droplets of dew or something still on there. But I believe I've never seen it at that time. But I have never seen the grass and the trees and everything. It seemed like when I began to recognize them, the trees began to wave to me, the grass began to sway, and I was so connected with all that. And realizing, what are we? We're bodies of water. And this is what's happening too. You can do research. I was even talking to my kids because I was excited about all this, my grandkids, and talking about the oneness of water and that we're just bodies of water. And of course, I've known that. That's science stuff we've known all the time. But that water that is within us, it's conscious. It's conscious. It's a consciousness in it. And so and I was thinking, okay, well, if the water began to hear that water is the essence of source or the essence of the divine, and I'd been getting light as the essence of the divine, and the breath, but put it all together. And that is the oneness of who we are. We are the light. We are the breath. And we are the water. We are all the elements that come from this great universe. So, of course, we're connected with all things. So as we begin to get our junk out of the way, our fears, our doubts, our judgments, and begin to ask, I'm realizing things really come to us. They begin to talk with us and speak with us. And something that I started, oh my gosh, whenever I went to Arizona for a water ceremony, I was asked to go and speak. But what was I speaking for? Because I didn't know anything now that I look back. But it's all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. And of course, we're all pieces of the puzzle. Some of the people that I meet are huge pieces of the puzzle on this planet right now. And I may just be a small, little, tiny piece of a puzzle of what's going on in life right now on this planet. But guess what? I'm that piece that needs to go in there to complete things, and so are you. No matter how small you think you are, you're here for a reason, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be seeking the light or seeking more wisdom or seeking more knowledge or seeking more joy and peace. When you're doing that, you're on your own road to opening up to the gift that you really have. And I recognize I was told when I was in my 20s or 30s that I would help clear the Yadkin River waters, that I would one day see them running clean. I thought that's in another lifetime, but I'm recognizing people are getting together and they're bringing in little vials of water, and they're using the energy work and different things that are happening, and it's affecting the bodies of water because we have water in us and it's connecting with all the world. But when we bring our consciousness to that water, it begins to clear up. And I shared with you about a month ago when Tony and I went to Myrtle Beach, of all places. My sister was talking about how dark and yucky it is at Myrtle Beach, the waters. I said, Tony and I went there, and I happened to look out, and it was like, what is happening? The waters are becoming sort of like Bahamas. I said, Tony, is it my imagination? He said, no, they're not what they used to be. Things are changing. Why? Because we're consciously affecting the world. You don't recognize how powerful you are until you start practicing the presence that's within you and sharing that light. Every time you send out love, guess what? You're touching everything and everybody in this whole universe. Thank you. Not just this world. I've said the world before, but it's the whole universe. That everything is divinely connected, and we're muddying the waters, or we're blessing. We're blessing. Time to send a blessing to all life. Go and just close your eyes and send that blessing of love. For I'm here, and the greatest gift that you have to offer anyone or any place is that love within you. That love that builds that bridge between your world and theirs. The love that builds that bridge between you and anything in this universe. But this universe is matter. This universe is form. And that's what you're holding right now as you sit in that body. But recognize you are much, much more than just a form. You're more than a mind. You're more than your senses, 5 senses. For you are spirit. You are truth. You are love and power and wisdom and understanding. You are life itself. And life is all around you. You're breathing it, moving in it. You live in an ocean of unlimited possibility. As these droplets of water are within you, around you, and through you, and the light within you is shining brighter and brighter. One day soon, or even in these moments, may we have eyes to see when we look out at all people upon this planet. May we see them as that beautiful light of who they are, like droplets of dew shining in the sunshine. Behold the divinity. Behold the truth of who you truly are. And the more you see it, the more you will be it. Thank you, God, for bringing us together this day in heart, mind, and spirit. Lift us to those places of peace and love and joy. May we choose to walk those paths of light and peace and love in every moment of every day. And so it is. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you for blessing me this day, for being here with me and remembering just who we are. My friend that's passed away when he was about 100 or 101, I guess it was. About a week or two ago, I found something that was in an old book, and I pulled it out. And I was thinking of Von Boone, who's the one that sings that, brought that song to us. How could anyone ever tell you you're anything less beautiful? He had actually been my mentor for a long, long time. But on the back of a picture, and I didn't recognize, I just thought it was a card, I read, "Our time on earth is brief, and our contact with each other is only a moment. So let us express our love now, when we can touch, console, and heal each other. I wish you love now and forevermore." Von Boone. Someone took his, well, Mary Ruth took his picture. This is what he put it on. And it looks like he's praying. It's beautiful. But he said, "Really, Elizabeth, I had fallen asleep." But so often we fall asleep. And I get gifts from other spaces. One of my friends was at the beach, and she said she was thinking of church. Church was starting that morning. It was the Easter Sunday. I don't know if you can see this. I'd like to put it up on the here sometime. But she clicked and took a picture of it. She clicked again, and when she looked, she thought she'd get several pictures of it. It only took that one time. But it was a cross. And she was at, I believe, Myrtle Beach or some beach that day. I found myself, I have books, and I put it in a book. And then it fell out one day. And she had just passed away during that week. And she was just reminding me, I do believe, of all things happen in the moment and how beautiful it is. The sun was coming through over the ocean. So let us capture all those beautiful moments we have with each other and let them inspire us. So I want to say thank you for being with us. Thank you for all you do, blessing us. And maybe we have a few people that haven't shown up. I know they're on vacation, but we are having problems with a couple of our air conditions going out. And so we're raising money. So if anyone would like to give out in the audience, on Zoom or on YouTube, if you would like to bless us with a love offering to help repair, we need to get new units. It would be greatly appreciated if your heart moves you to do so. So let's bless that we have this day. Find love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. Thank you, WG. In the presence of Jehovah, troubles vanish, hearts are mended in that presence. Okay. And you bring that presence in here, folks. I give thanks for this visible evidence of the bounty of God. I send it forth with love and joy to do its perfect work. Dear God, just got a tap on my shoulder to remind me that that little scene that I was seeing about in someone walking away from a relationship into greater joy. It could be anything that you feel like you can't walk away from. It could be bad habits. It could be bad thoughts. It could be anything that you think you have just about got away from and you turn around and go back. And you feel like you're going to make it and then you don't. Well, if there's anything that you're trying to overcome, anything in this day and time, you can do it now. You can do it because those cords are getting where they don't have as much pull, but you think they do. But once you go forward, you're going to break free into a beautiful place of consciousness. So just try it and see it happening. So thank you all. If you would like to come together in a family circle and sing Let There Be Peace on Earth, because you know it has to begin with you and me. If you want to see it, that's fine. Okay. Let there